Today we're going to see if we can get some of these marks out of the Quest 3 after it got chewed up by a dog. So this may be a quick video, but I was experimenting a little bit with trying to cover up some of the bite marks on this Quest 3 speaker arm, just with a baking soda and glue compound, and then sanding it down. And I just wanted to try and show you guys exactly what I'm doing here. Like I said, this is a bit of an experiment. One of the things that we do here at Fix My Oculus is obviously we fix things and repair things, and I can hot swap in parts and take this speaker arm off. But in a lot of cases, if there's a way for me to save a customer money and go, hey, I know, this isn't going to look brand new, but it'll get you through, and it'll function really well, then, sometimes that's a really good option for people. So especially with things like these lenses here, if there's a way for me to buff out these lenses and get them back to a pretty good condition without having to replace the entire display or at least the entire lens, most of the time that's a pretty good option for people because it costs less. And everybody's concerned with budget, and nobody wants to spend a lot of money repairing a device that you could just go buy used for $300 or $400. So not all the way happy with this, but I think it's a fairly good result. It's better on this side, but I'm gonna keep doing some work on it, and then I'll show you kind of what I did on this side. I've not done this one yet, so that we can get a good look at maybe how that could help you if you have your headset chewed up by a dog and it's in this kind of condition. And then we'll go ahead and buff out these lenses too. This one probably is repairable just as is. This one I may actually have to try to do a lens swap, which I've really not done before. Most of the time we just replace this whole component. But I do have some lenses laying around, so we'll see if we can hot swap a lens in there and just solve that problem for this customer. So I just have some baking soda here, and what I'm going to do is just get a whole bunch on here, and then I need to see if we can level this out at least as best as we can. So we've covered up those holes, and I would not say that I'm an expert at this kind of fabrication stuff, but again, if there's an opportunity for me to try and save the customer money, I'd say that benefits everybody. Okay, so now we've kind of got that, and then we'll just sand this away. Part of the problem here is these speaker arms are kind of fragile, so you got to be careful with how much force you put on them. We'll try this side too. I think I am going to go back over these with a Dremel tool and see if I can get a better result. So I kind of cut the camera a little bit so I could focus on this a little bit more, but that's starting to look like a pretty good result. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. And probably what I'll do is shoot the customer an email with a photo of this. This one still needs a little bit of work. I'll still do a little bit more work on that one, but I'll send the customer an email and go, hey, do you want the full speaker arm replacement? Because that's going to cost X amount of dollars. It's going to be like, $200, $100 per arm basically. Or is this pretty good? Because this I'm willing to do, basically just for labor for like $30. So we'll see what they say about that and whether or not they're happy with that. I'll kind of work on this a little bit more, and definitely that one a little bit more, and that one. But I think we're getting close to a result. Well, that's much better. That's the other side. So I'd say that is an improved result for sure. Again, this is just kind of me experimenting on it. So I'm going to send a picture to the client and see if they're happy with this or if they just want the full arm replacement. But it is like, $100 for them to replace the speaker arm entirely. And I'm basically willing to do this for free just because it's kind of an experimentation, and hopefully they are happy with that. It at least doesn't look like it just got mauled by a dog. So we'll see what they think. All right, now on to the big kahunas. What's really stressing me out here is this mark right here, because that looks like it goes into the plastic. So we're gonna see if we can get it out without having to replace the lens entirely, but I have a feeling that it's gonna come down to that. So my first step with something like this is I've got this heavy scratch remover, and that kind of helps me take off this coating here. And I have a couple of brushes that I use quite a bit. This one kind of helps me take off most of the coating. All right, and then get it kind of nice and evenly distributed, and then we'll just go to work. Now that I've stripped off most of that coating, I can see that these scratches are actually much worse than I kind of previously thought, just because that coating does a pretty good job of covering most of that up. I'm not sure that these lenses are recoverable, so we're gonna go for the next step here. So let's take some heat to this, see if we can loosen this up around the side here. And then I'm just gonna very carefully come in here at this corner where this flat ledge is and see if we can break the seam of the adhesive. I don't really have a good way to reapply the adhesive because it's not like Meta makes that available. So we're just going to test this as is and make sure that that works. It's pretty hard for you to get an idea of what I'm looking at through the screen, but I'd call that a success. The nice thing that I didn't really contemplate before I got into this was that these brackets kind of hold these lenses in place. So once they're seated, even if the adhesive isn't like factory, they seem to stay put.
I like that better than the twos.
Yep. The twos are easy to get out, that's for sure. I thought I was going to have to disassemble this whole thing for a second, but we got lucky.
Take the faceplate off and then the bracket?
Huh?
Just the faceplate and then the bracket?
And the bracket, yeah. And then I'm grabbing here at the flat edge and then just kind of weaseling my way in. I'm contemplating putting a dot
of super glue?
Yeah. Just So, if anybody asks, it is technically possible. I guess. Not exactly anxious to recommend this repair to somebody, because imagine like puncturing that convex mirror or getting a bunch of debris in there. That would be my concern.
Good morning, headset time. Yeah, looks great. Probably way better than the other ones.
Way better than the other ones.
Oh yeah, oh.
Right? Those are bad.
Dude.
Chewed on by dog. All right. Well, that's that. Well, you heard it here first, folks. It is technically possible to swap these lenses out. I wouldn't recommend this job to anybody without, a decent heat gun and some good pry tools and a relatively dust-free room. Just because that convex mirror on the inside definitely makes me nervous. But if you're in need of a replacement, that's an option. And this turned out okay. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to take some photos and send this to the customer and be like, hey, how do you like this? Is this good? Or do you want me to replace the speaker arms? But I think that they'll probably agree with me that that's probably good enough for free. How about that? Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for sticking with me. And don't forget, we are still running the Quest 3 giveaway through January 31st. And if you guys are looking for a repair like this or need help with a repair, you can always leave me a comment or reach out to us on our website, fixmyoculus.com. We will see you on the next one.